Tell me about yourself is one of the most common and important questions you'll be faced with in any interview. In this video, I'm going to show you how to structure your answer, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to leave that lasting impression. Hi, I'm David with a 5.0 GPA from MIT and 2 patents in AI video analysis. Over the past few years, I've helped hundreds of students and professionals elevate their performance in video interviews by building confidence and enhancing their skills. So why exactly do interviewers ask the question, "Tell me about yourself," and how come it's a staple of seemingly all interviews? It's one of those deceptively simple questions where if you get it right, you'll feel engaged and more confident about how the interview is going. But if it falls flat, well, it kind of sets that negative tone that might put you down and feel you leaving a little bit lacking. One of the main reasons why interviewers ask this question, "Tell me about yourself," is that it eases them and you into the interview process. Perhaps they're coming off speaking to other candidates and want to reset. And for you, perhaps they don't want to start with an intense question that's going to put you on the spot. "Tell me about yourself" gives you that opportunity to showcase your skills, introduce yourself without telling your life story, and set the tone for how the rest of the interview is going to go. I like to use this structure called IAP, which is Introduction, Accomplishments, and Personal Touch. Firstly, introduction. Give a quick sentence about who you are and what your current role and responsibilities are. Second, accomplishment. Reference key skills and competencies that are relevant to the job that you've had previous experience in. And finally, add that personal touch by referencing something unique to you. One thing I like to do here is talk about what are our personal values that lead us in decision making. So, do you have a growth mindset? Are you detail-oriented? Do you like to ensure collaboration and stakeholder buy-in in the tasks you face? These are things that are going to set you apart and flag key competencies that you feel you represent well. We've had some comments here on previous videos that ask, is "tell me about yourself" the same as asking about your background? Well, yes, but perhaps we're going to change the emphasis here a little bit and focus more on those key skills and accomplishments as well as your current role and responsibilities. A little less of the personal touch. But fundamentally, it is still this kind of introductory question where they want to find out who you are and make sure that the person who they imagined on that resume when they read it aligns with who you are today. With regards to the one-way video interview, we have a comment that asks, is it okay to finish telling about yourself before the time runs out? Yes. Actually, one of the things I recommend to people in our course called How to Ace Your Video Interview is to try and sit the landing and finish a few seconds before the timer runs out. That way you can finish talking about yourself, look into the camera, and finish your answer with confidence. Don't be scrambling to say the last few words and then get cut off before your recording gets submitted. So if you have similar questions or comments like these two and want to feature in a future video, just comment down below and we'll pick it up. An alternative structure to answer the "tell me about yourself" question is to use the past, present, future structure, where we talk about, firstly, who we were. So this is talking about our founding story. Maybe we were in college studying a particular degree and got a certain interest. And then we've moved to the present, the second part of the structure, where we are today, our current roles, responsibilities, and achievements, which are relevant. You're going to tie that into the competencies and requirements of the job position. And then finally, and on the future, where you're going. And where you're going is who you want to become. This is almost independent of the job you're applying to. You're heading to this destination, and if you get this job, it's going to help kind of propel you, be a catalyst for you achieving where you want to go and who you want to be. But almost independent of whether you get this job or not, this is where you're planning on heading. And this really sets you apart as a confident leader who has a plan for the future, and this job just so happens to be the right place at the right time if they're willing to give you this opportunity. That's the past, present, future framework. I really love it because it brings this sense of momentum and energy right at the start of the interview where things can often be a little slow or hesitant. You're telling the story of where you were, where you are, and where you're going. And that is an exciting story. And you're offering the opportunity for this company to partner with you during that journey and get the benefits of your growth and your current skills and competencies. Sounds pretty appealing to me. If you thought these tips and comments were useful, check out our How to Ace Your Video Interview course that will bring to you more frameworks, ideas, and structures to help you ace your interview. Now, as a thank you for sticking around so long, and of course, I know you've already liked, commented, subscribed, and turned on the notification bell, right? We're going to share some more advanced tips with you that you can just have in the back of your mind as you're preparing and during your interview to help you elevate your performance and do your best. Tip number 1 is to be concise. Set out who you are as a candidate and be succinct. If you have a video interview, you want to keep it a little shorter than the timer, but utilize the time. Don't necessarily tell a long story, but keep all these details punchy, short, crisp. In a in-person interview or a panel interview, you have a little more leeway here. You can set out the scene as to who you are. Make yourself sound interesting, but don't necessarily tell every single detail about every position. When you finish telling about who you are, there's an opportunity for the interviewer to ask you questions to follow up, and that will give you a good gauge as to which parts of who you are, your resume, your experience, skills, and competencies that the interviewer is interested in. And that's a great clue for future interviews as well. Number 2 is to show enthusiasm. Perhaps this interviewer's had a long day. Perhaps they've already watched so many different videos of other candidates and their responses. It's up to you to bring this positive energy, no matter how we're feeling necessarily inside, probably anxious, nervous, it's a lot of pressure, but to do our best to bring a smile and answer with confidence. I've been in many multiple candidate interviews where we're all in the same room, perhaps doing tasks or other types of activities, and I've looked at everybody else's face and they've looked like they're in horror. This is the last place they want to be. This interview is hell to them. And that's reminded me that I also probably looked exactly the same. By smiling and bringing a better energy, a confidence and enthusiasm, you can really change the dynamic in the room, and that gets noticed. Now, I did actually get that job. I'm not sure it's just because I was smiling, but I personally feel it had a massive impact and it made me actually enjoy the experience and forget how much pressure there actually was to get the job. Now, the third tip was going to be don't read your resume, but we already know that this is the advanced tips section, right? So the third tip I'm going to give you is to record yourself, practice out loud, get more confident with your response. Often inside our head, we get so caught up in overthinking our story and the response we're delivering, we don't realize that actually it was pretty good. So my suggestion to you is to set a timer to get your iPhone or your webcam going and just roll it, record. When the timer goes off for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, see how you've done. Watch it back, even though it's painful and embarrassing. Trust me, being aware and self-aware of how you come across will enable you to just perform so much better. This video is going to be the first in a series of tips about how to improve your performance and elevate your video interviews. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell, check out our channel for the actual playlist, and write in the comments any experience you have with these structures, or if you have a better way of responding to video interviews that other candidates might find helpful, drop it in the comments. That's the best place they'll be able to find it. I'll catch you in the next tip, which I think is going to be about behavioral interview questions.